Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Touring here, and today, guys, I'm here with another Total War Warhammer live BattleCast. In this game, I'm going to be playing the Beastmen, and I'm facing off against Bretonnia. Definitely going to be a party, guys. Let's go ahead and get the bad beast set up here. Looks like there's actually some objects here that kind of like obstruct you. A little water bridge, kind of cool. So we do have Morghur the Shadowgave, definitely one of the more competitive lords. Kazarak's fun and all, but honestly, when you're playing against Bretonnia, you're going to need all the tools you can get. So something you guys have probably noticed, I actually didn't bring a caster this time. I just wanted to kind of experiment and use those, 1,000 to 1,500 resources I would use on a caster and bring a Gorbel instead and go a little bit wider with my army. Granted, Lore of Shadows isn't bad against Bretonnia. Like a good Pit of Shades can really, do some good work against foot squires and infantry. And the Okim's Mind Razor is also quite strong using them on the centaurs with great opens when they, engage the Bretonian cav. So we're just going to try something a little bit different. So we do have some Razor Gore herds. We're bringing the bacon. We're going to kind of use them like, how squigs are used now by the greenskins. Because a lot of times, greenskin players are just going to put squigs in the infantry corps. They're going to charge them up through the front line and, see if they can do their job. So these guys, again, have 52 weapon strength. They do have armor piercing damage. So I'm just going to kind of use them as foot squire hunters if he does have any. But still, they hit pretty hard. They have a decent little charge bonus and some okay combat stats. So, man, that melee defense is really low, though. I never noticed that before. Only 14. That's pretty pitiful. Ugh. So, okay, we got some Harpies, which might seem a little bit counterintuitive against Bretonnia. So I figure if he goes on the ground, if he gets the Fey Enchantress, and which seems to be more common, these guys can really pay off at like chasing down peasants. But worst case scenario, it's like 600 resources. I just kind of scurry around the map. So against the Bretonnian front line, the Gore herds right here, they actually can trade really well with foot squires. And if I'm not mistaken, they can actually beat them. So on top of that, I do have some best scores just to give me a little bit more armor piercing in case he goes very cav heavy or has some like Grail Guardians or something like that. Got some Raiders back here. Just gives me a little bit of utility. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Let's have some fun. Good luck to my opponent. And let's get down and dirty. So he does have Alberic over here, which is going to be a little bit tough for my Harpies to deal with. So the Harpies, we're going to fly him like over into the Shadow Realm. Just fly him over this pit here. And if my opponent wants to chase those bad boys, he's more than welcome to. So he does have Gore herds. Definitely a good choice. Looks like he does have some foot squires in the back line. A very, very heavy infantry army. The Damsel with the Lore of Life. So it looks to be a pretty competitive build, I would say. I mean, the only criticism would be is Alberic isn't as good as King Lewin, simply because he doesn't have like self-regeneration. So he's a liability if he does get like targeted down. So what we do here is we just run the Harpies to the back of the map. And, if he wants to chase those, like while I engage his main army, I'm totally fine with that because the Beastmen are really quick. So by the time I get there, if he chases all the way over here after those guys, we're going to be engaged and we're going to be, doing the dirty on him. So let's go ahead. Yeah, is he gonna keep going? So we can pull the Harpies up around here, see if we can get a few free volleys here, do a little bit of a poke damage because, like I mentioned before, guys, he does not have healing. So we do a little bit of damage. I think we clipped him. We clipped him a little bit. So I could fight and just use the Raiders to kind of just poke. So let's actually run them over here and just do a big wide roundabout. He actually has 110 move speed. Alberic actually has a passive, I believe, the Trident ability that makes like everything faster. So, this is actually like something I have to scurry around here. So let's reposition our forces here in this kind of like open area and just kind of do a little bit of a blitzkrieg. And we do have our Centaurs. We could just use the Centaurs to like protect our back line. But I think we can get up and around. He has enough squishy spots that we can probably pressure. In worst case scenario, we just do a side charge into one of those foot squires or something like that, which would be quite nice. And we can use the Gorbel to just mirror Alberic. So if he goes in pretty deep against Alberic, or excuse me, against any of my casters, or not casters, but missiles in the back line, we can use Alberic or, not Alberic. Man, I'm just all over the place today. We'll use this Gorbel to defend him. So cool, let's get in position. And we have the Harpies coming back up. Yeah, Harpies, I mean, if he wants to chase Harpies around the map, I'm totally fine with that. So let's posture these guys up like so, and that looks nice right there. Some okay positioning. We'll run these guys up and around, and let's also fly these guys pretty deep over there. I'm excited to see how the Razor Gores do in the front line. I don't think they're as good as Squigs, but, I'm hoping they can find a little bit of a home. So let's go ahead and just start advancing on our opponent. We're going to get our missiles kind of trading into his missiles probably pretty shortly. Let's actually have him start shooting at foot squires initially, and then we can, kind of trade him off there once we get things rolling. So we're running up and around. We do have the Harpies coming as well, and let's see what he decides to do. I mean, he could go for the missiles here, which I'm totally fine with. No, he's actually opting to go after the Harpies, which is fine. We're just going to run those bad boys kind of up and away. Oh, did we just run our cab like right through his formation? I think we did. That's pretty sloppy stuff. So let's get all these guys engaged here. We'll get these guys fighting here. And yeah, these Gore herds can collapse on those, and then these guys can come up and around the side. Oh, looks like a little bit of potatoing from my opponent. Hopefully he's able to stabilize here, but man, that was super sloppy with those dogs. Pretty funny stuff though, regardless. So the pigs, we can send them to bring the bacon on some of those battle pilgrims. Obviously, we probably want to get them on foot squires. So let's see and go ahead here. Get these guys kind of going after foot squires here. And it looks like he's actually chasing pretty aggressively. So we can run all the way out here, just kind of keep diving over here, and let's actually just run and go after this life caster and see. No, we don't want to do that. That's too much of a gimme. So he has a bunch of spears and troops coming on the wings over here, but let's actually just run off. We have a speed advantage, so we want to get Morghur engaged here, and the longer that he chases us, the better. So he is focusing Gorbel, so we're going to bring Gorbel over here, and yeah, if he wants to bring his cav and his Knights of the Realm over here, I'm totally fine with that. We can run circles around him all freaking day. So we do have some Gores over here on the side. Everything is fighting pretty well, I would say. And let's go ahead and start focusing on the missiles. And yeah, this is a big mistake people make. They'll chase those Harpies into the sunset, and it's just such a waste of time. So in the front line, we really collapsed those foot squires. Like, the Baconators did some serious work here. And let's go ahead and get Gorbel and have her start chasing here. Let's get the Baconators over here, and let's also switch one group of firepower onto these. Just keep going here, and let's actually, yeah, I think we can outmaneuver him here. So we do have a Spirit Essence of Chaos. So we definitely want to be popping that soon. I'm not sure when, but the Baconators need to get back a little bit. They're getting a little overzealous with their 14 melee defense. But, you know, that's okay, guys. Oh, man, we might be able to come in and just wreck those guys right now. And honestly, like, Morghur's fighting, like, his lord isn't. We're doing pretty good here. So we have too many troops, like, bunched up here. So I say we, like, leave one of these Gorherds to fight these guys, and then we get these guys kind of chasing back here. So for some reason, my troops kind of got caught up a little bit there, so a little bit clunky, but, you know, it's no big deal. I think we're in good shape. Like, a lot of his troops are taking quite a bit of damage. So let's have these guys shoot over here, and we do have Morghur. We still have the Spirit Essence of Chaos, so we'll just keep fighting the good fight and see what we want to do. We do have these Gores getting through to the peasants back here, and we're trading somewhat well. Like, even considering we're out of position, you can see Alberic's coming back now. So, I mean, that's like a large portion of the battle without having a lord, basically, which is really, really nice. So let's just kind of keep chasing these guys down. And let's start focusing this Grail Reliquary. It's out in the open. You know, it's pretty alone and naked there, so we can just kind of chase in here, keep Morghur fighting. We really need to get that Spirit Essence, though, but it's a little bit tricky. So he routes off some of our missiles, which is fine. Like, no problem. Or, excuse me, our cav. But we're going to get these Harpies back in there and have them go after these guys. And let's also have these, yeah, we can have these dudes kind of turn and just fight here. So the Gorbel should be able to, you know, deal with that Grail Reliquary, like, pretty efficiently. So let's start turning and shooting here. And do we have a Staff of Ruinous Corruption? We do. So let's go ahead and pop that back there to get those Chaos Spawn up and online. And he's actually going after the Gorbel, which is fine. So let's pull these missiles back here. Let's get the Baconators kind of re-engaged here, and we can start shooting at his lord a little bit. And Gorbel, I don't mind fighting Alberic. He doesn't have healing, so, you know, absolutely no complaints there. And the Harpies are coming back. And the Spirit Essence of Chaos has summoned these troops here. Let's go ahead and send them over to that kind of main fight where there's a lot of, like, pitched combat going on. So we'll engage these guys here. Let's also get Morghur. Look for some Spirit Essence targets. Looks like we do have some Battle Pilgrims that we can get there. So yeah, you can see he's actually taking a ton of damage from that Gorbel. And then Morghur is going to come and hopefully apply some poison. We do get a nice Spirit Essence proc there, which is just brutal. So we can turn these guys, have them start shooting. Let's also have these guys start shooting here. Everything's going pretty well. I mean, a few sloppy plays for the most part, but, you know, it's been a fun run, guys. It's been a fun run. So let's get these beasts kind of like pushed in here. And you see what I'm saying? Like these Gorherds actually perform really, really well in this matchup. So looks like Alberic's in some pretty bad shape. So let's finish off this Grail Reliquary. So a lot of his low tier troops will rout. And you can see, yeah, even those foot squires are getting torn up now. So we'll start targeting here, and the Harpies are just wrecking those peasants. So let's get them back in there and have them come help out against Alberic. And do we still have Gorbel? Yeah, it looks like Gorbel did take a bit of a beating, but you know, he paid his dues. He did some good work for us. So we were able to finish those guys off. Let's get these Gores engaged here. We'll get these guys repositioned over here. We do have a nice rear charge coming here, so that should be able to break my opponent's back. I mean, he does have some cav coming back, but you know, nothing that we can't deal with, I don't think. So let's get these hounds and have them come up and around here and get on those missiles. Good. Good. And Knights of the Realm are coming in, but honestly, at this point, like, it's too little too late. I think they're just going to kind of get run over. So we'll keep shooting at Alberic here. Do we have any enemy troops in the back line? Doesn't look like we really do. So let's send those let's send the Gores here and spend the Chaos Spawn to deal with those foot squires. Good. So it looks like he's trying to like get his bearings again, kind of regroup a little bit. The Knights of the Realm are kind of going to go snipe out that Gorbel. So let's see if we can actually get this this life caster if he's not paying attention. But Alberic is getting peppered right there. So if he goes in hot, we can actually pull the Harpies. Let's pull the Chaos Spawn to kind of protect those guys as well. Let's see, is he thinking? He's thinking about it. He wants it. You can tell. He wants it bad, but we do get that life caster. We intercept with the Harpies, and you know, they'll do okay. I mean, they're not all-stars in this particular matchup, but you know, they're not going to do terribly. And we do have two groups of missiles peppering them. Hey, even if it's 1 damage per arrow, it's going to get there eventually. So we're pushing in there. We do have some Gores coming back here. Let's go ahead and send those guys to the far side. And Alberic's, yeah, he's going down, guys. And does he? Yeah, is he getting healed? Yeah, they do have a lore of life caster. So I love these Chaos Spawn are just like guarding these Ungors. Pretty good stuff. So yeah, we route off that life caster. So let's go ahead and just kind of push over here. And we can leave one of the Gores here to just kind of like chase her down a little bit, although she's so mobile. And yeah, thankfully Alberic wasted a ton of time like chasing down a lot of our Harpies on the map. That was really nice because he basically didn't have his Lord for like the main battle for quite some time. We still do have another Staff of Ruinous Corruption, and then on top of that, we also do have the Spirit Essence of Chaos. So, I mean, we have 2 more groups of Chaos Spawn, so even if all we had left was Morghur, we could still probably put up a decent fight here. So, let's get these guys kind of shooting here. Let's also pull back these Bestigors to have them intercept those cav if possible. I mean, at least Bestigors are pretty quick, so they're gonna eat this charge like champions. But you know what? They're ready for it. They're feasting, they're frenzied, they're all good to go. So he's gonna get a heal off here. We're getting some missile presence, but still, you know, he's gonna be able to get in there for sure. So their leadership is down to 56. Let's see if we can kind of chase these guys down. Let's actually have these Gores go finish off these peasant bowmen. And the Harpies are back online as well. Let's make sure to get everything we can back because, believe it or not, it's actually a pretty close battle. You know, I felt like it was going well, but, you know, he has a lot of troops coming back from the front. Definitely going to be harassing us a little bit. Oh man, this is tough. Like, do we chase these guys? Let's actually just finish off these. I think that's going to be a bit of an easier catch. So we do have the Spirit Essence of Chaos, but yeah, we're going to get a few kills here. They're going to take some damage against these Bestigors. So what do we have coming back in the back line? We got the Harpies that we can stick on that light damsel. The damsel over there with the Lore of Life is going to be a pretty good target. Let's get these guys kind of positioned here, and then we're going to get our infantry line here and just kind of we need to degroup them. Sometimes when you group them up like that, it like makes it really awkward. So we'll send those guys here. We'll send these guys here. Let's get these missiles focusing here, and these missiles can go after Alberic, and the Harpies can kind of fly over here and see if my opponent wants to chase. So we do have the Spirit Essence of Chaos again, so we're going to actually try and use it on those Knights of the Realm, and if we do get that off, that's going to be devastating for my opponent. So it's casting, and boom, there it goes. Look at that, just pure destruction. So that was a good little move there. The Chaos Spawn doing their job. And you know, Morghur is honestly like one of the few things that keeps Beastmen competitive. If Morghur wasn't like, if I was using Kazrak, this would be much harder. You know, the mistakes I made earlier wouldn't have been as forgivable. So yeah, like with pathing those hounds and just all that kind of nonsense. And also for some reason my Centaurs got caught. I thought I had a pretty good angle, but maybe they got caught on some terrain or something. Like I thought I was going to get a good rear charge into those darn freaking missiles in the back line, but I guess I just totally screwed the pooch on that one. So let's pull these guys over here, get Morghur kind of pushing in. Looks like there's some more knights, so we'll get this this ramshackle defensive line get ready to party here. And yeah, we do need to get them in combat here, but our missiles are fighting. You know, they're doing their job. So do we want to keep shooting Alberic? He's not near his healing cap. Let's see if we can get this caster and just kind of reform ranks right here and get these Harpies kind of going into those bad boys. And man, those knights are trolling about, guys. They're doing some good work. So we're gonna have to push those Bestigors to pull these guys in the front line. And the Chaos Spawn though, they're doing their piece, guys. They're fighting tooth and nail. And I think we're actually poking down his Lore of Life caster a little bit. Yeah, you can see she's actually taking damage because very lightly armored, so she might be the better target there. So Morghur, we're just gonna sit and defend our missiles right now with him. Oh man, this actually ended up being a really close, great game. Very well played to my opponent. He's pimping it. So let's get in here, have these Bestigors intercept these Foot Squires, which is going to be pretty nice. And yeah, let's get Morghur in melee so we can get some more goodies here. Start getting that Staff of Ruinous Corruption. So hopefully we can shatter him. You can see his damsel actually just gets pushed off the battlefield by our Haggard missile squad. And man, I didn't ever expect these Ungors to just be such MVPs. So he's kind of running around back here, and yeah, obviously we don't have enough resources to protect everything, but at least we're high and tight kind of, so we can kind of get something going here. So what do we have? So we have these Peasant Bowmen. Let's go ahead and see if we can kind of push those guys off. Let's have these guys start shooting at Alberic with whatever we have left, and yeah, just keep fighting the good fight. And do we have another Chaos Spawn summon? We don't. Not for some... Oh, this is going to be nice. So if the Harpies can get those Peasant Bowmen offline, that's going to be a huge, huge gimme. So Alberic's taking some pretty good damage here. We're getting in there, doing a little bit of work. The Bestigors, we want to keep them tight here. Let's start peppering them with missiles and just, you know, try and make my opponent as uncomfortable as possible. So Harpies, if they can get in here and tear up these peasants, that's going to be huge. Oh, that's so nice. What a pick. And like I said, like the Harpies don't seem like intuitive against these guys, but they're actually like performing pretty well. So let's keep shooting in at these knights. Just keep working on his lord. I mean, I guess he could just run circles around me for the next like 20 minutes and you know, do his thing there. But it looks like we're able to deal with the peasants. So let's run these guys off into the realm here. And yeah, let's just group everyone up. Just put them in one group so we don't have any pathing issues, and then just kind of push. Yeah, like here, I think we just have to chase down his peasants and other units like that, but he is going to rout us off the battlefield, unfortunately. So what do we have in the back? Do we have any? Oh, we actually have some dudes over here we can actually go finish off real quick. So let's get these guys here, see if we can finish off these Foot Squires and, you know, take them down. They must be exhausted. I feel like everything is at this point. Yeah, the Beastmen are exhausted. You feel like the Beastmen, like being bestial and, you know, that kind of stuff going on would be pretty resilient to like fatigue and things like that, but I guess not. So balance power is pretty heavily in our favor. We should be able to finish these guys off in just a moment once we push in here. He's coming in pretty hot with his cav. Let's see if we can last samurai a few of these guys. So we're going to kind of start shooting them here. We'll have the Bestigors go chase off those Foot Squires, which is fine, and then we can actually you know, leave Morghur here to see how that goes. So although chasing them off probably isn't worth it. So okay, we're getting some fire here, which is good. Like any damage we can do to these darn guys is going to be great. So Morghur is going to get in here. Let's go ahead and pop the leadership buff, and we do have these Bestigors as well coming back in, so we're able to fend them off there. So they're going down. Man, 29 leadership. They're taking so much HP damage. They have almost nothing. But we're almost out of missiles too, so you know, nothing great here, guys. Nothing great, but he has like a bunch of like remnants kind of lurking around the map. What is that over there? So he has 20 peasant bowmen. So if he's able to like consolidate his forces, that could actually be pretty scary. So let's go in here with these guys, and we're gonna have these guys keep shooting the cav, because if we're able to defeat everything on the ground, I think it's just over. Like, you know, Alberic will just start suffering leadership. It looks like he does use Rally, which is very cool. And I wish we had the Spirit Essence of Chaos, but even like Morghur has probably nowhere near his healing cap. Yeah, he still has 2600 HP he can heal. So we're gonna try and get these stupid knights. Let's just position him. I don't want to like waste anything on Alberic, because he's so tough to kill. So my opponent's gonna probably try and kite me out a little bit. So let's go ahead and just, I guess, yeah, I don't know. We just play that game. So let's get Morghur in here, try and get him in combat and use these Bestigors to protect. And Hopefully he takes the bait and like attacks Morghur, because Morghur is going to take like 45 minutes to kill. Like he might go in and like try and charge him, but he's so tanky. Like we're giving him that tail right now. So we're going to go in here. Morghur can chase these peasants down. It does not matter. He's so incredibly tanky. And yeah, so he gets some kills there. He's probably going to be able to rout these guys off, to be honest. So we do have our firing squad kind of shooting here. Look at these foot squires lurking in the background, just kind of skulking about. So yeah, this is good. This is where Morghur thrives when he's being targeted. He's definitely one of the last things you want to kill. So let's also run these guys up a little bit closer, get them away from those foot squires, and you know, things are going pretty well here. The Bestigors are going to catch up, and guys, we still have 41 models here, so that's quite a bit. So get in there. We're going to finish off those knights. Let's go ahead and start shooting those guys. And do we want to shoot Alberic or do we want to shoot the knights? I don't even know anymore, guys. So we're going to get another Spirit Essence of Chaos pretty soon. We're taking a little bit of damage on Morghur, but still, he's going to be able to heal most of that, I think. So the Gors are going to come back and hopefully be able to secure our back line. We're putting a lot of marbles on this front line fight, but hopefully we can, you know, do a little bit of damage and poison him and, you know, all that kind of good stuff as well. So we're fighting the good fight, but I guess Morghur probably does count as a large unit, right? So he's probably going to take a little bit of damage. So we're chasing those knights off. Let's get these Bestigors over here. And man, Alberic is actually really doing pretty well here. I was expecting to be much more one-sided, but he's down to about 13 leadership, you know, 400 HP. So Morghur should be able to kind of deal with him at this point. So good. We're getting in there. We're getting a little bit of a charge. Let's fight here. Let's pull this back. Oh man, 31 seconds left on that freaking Spirit Essence, which is so rough. So he's incredibly low right now. So let's actually focus him down with the missiles and see if we can get a little something going on. And the Gorherd's actually taking quite a bit of damage. Let's actually have him turn and fight those guys. Although, yeah, it looks like Alberic does shatter. So, man, close fight. Like, I thought that was over quite a bit earlier, but I suppose, you know, my opponent was able to have some really good play with his cav. He caught, you know, several of my guys out of position. And the Baconator is kind of underperformed. I feel like they're just one of those units that's, you know, subpar, just generally speaking. I've tried to make them work in different builds. Like, against dwarves, they're okay, because they have pretty good armor piercing, but against Bretonnia, I thought they might be like a good counter pick against like a foot squire build, but still at the end of the day, I think they were a little bit subpar. So a few reflections, just, you know, I screwed up with the cav. The initial idea was right, outrun those knights and then run back around and gank his missiles. But for some reason, they got caught over there. I mean, obviously, it's not for some reason. I messed something up. I just don't know what it was. Aside from that, we, you know, had some decent plays. We got some good engagements. Morghur did some pretty good work. Our Ungor Raiders were able to really pepper his peasants for quite some time. So pretty good stuff. Well played to my opponent, Vin. Very cool seeing Alberic back in play. Thanks again for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this Beast cast, and more content coming soon.